Hello, my fellow humans. We are all here sharing this human experience together. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. Today we are getting into the surprising things your haters are saying about you. So we're going to look into that. This is a channel message, and then after I got it as a channel message, it was actually requested, which I thought was interesting. So it's definitely a confirmation on my part. I love when things work out like that. So I did feel called to using the Goddess, Gods, and Guardians Oracle deck today by Sophie Brashford. We're going to look into this, and just remember that I do things differently here on this channel, so there may be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. And should any of the messages resonate, it would really mean the world to me and also help support the channel if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And I do want you to know that your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing it with you today. So let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what this is. I'm going to get started with your prayer today. I do feel there's this energy that's coming in where it's important for you to feel how you feel, even though that we're looking into what your haters are saying about you, like how they're viewing you at this time and what they're saying about you. But I just feel like there's an important message that it's important for you to feel what you're feeling, and to remember that even if people are being cruel to you, or if they are gossiping about you, or if they're spreading lies and rumors about you, that is never the truth of who you are. And while we can absolutely take it personal, when we take it personal and we carry that burden on our shoulder, we're giving our power away to those that are speaking of us. So it's reminding ourselves to draw back and reclaim our own internal power. And it's okay however we feel. If we feel betrayed, if we feel hurt, if we feel whatever, that's okay. But what is necessary is to reclaim our power. Okay? My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading. I ask that you remind us of just how truly powerful we are. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the gossip. It's easy to get caught up in the rumors. It's easy to get caught up in the drama that's unfolding around us. Life is as life is, and it will always continue to be that. No matter what we choose to do with ourselves, we can only focus on ourselves in this moment, because there's so many things that are out of our control. How people see us is out of our control. What people say about us is out of our control. What people spread on about us, whether they're lies or truth, that's all out of our control. But what we do have control over is choosing to value, respect, and honor ourselves, to love ourselves fully, and to embrace ourselves in this here now here moment with honor and integrity as to what it is that we want to do and who we wish to become on our journey. Everyone else is just a part of the journey, a passing moment in the journey. Remind us of our control, remind us of our truth, and remind us that it's okay to be bold and to stand up for ourselves. That rumors and lies, that's all they are, rumors and lies. They cannot hurt us if we choose not to carry them on our shoulders. They cannot harm us if we do not allow them to. So today I ask that you give us all strength to send that energy back to whomever it is that might be saying those things. Not in the sense of us saying it back to them, but in the sense of us just choosing not to carry it on our shoulders. Thank you so much for walking on this journey with us and reminding us that we are enough and that we matter in this here now here moment. As these words are spoken onto this reading and upon this tribe today, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Yeah, so I do feel like there's definitely a message that needs to come out today in regards to this topic, and yeah, so we're gonna see what that is. Self-love is definitely coming through really strongly here. Well, let's find out the surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. What oracle card is going to help us better understand this message today, source? The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. Okay, thank you. The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. Pile 1. The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. Source, what oracle card is going to help us better understand this message today? Thank you. Pile number 2. The surprising thing your haters are saying about you. Source, what oracle card is going to help us better understand this message today for pile number 2? The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. Whoa! Okay, just a second. That went off the table. Okay. Thank you, Source. And pile number 3. The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. Thank you. Okay, collective energy on the bottom of the deck. So we have, and I always mess up this name, so I apologize, but Lazzo Teoto with forgive. The surprising thing. You know, there's some people here who really, really hurt you, who really, really put you down, who really made it seem like you were the villain in their story. And remember, we have to be the villain for someone because someone's always going to be the villain for us. Like, that's just the way of the world, and that's okay. It doesn't make us villains. It doesn't make us bad people. It doesn't make us terrible people or anything like that. It's just that there's always going to be a hero and the villain in the story, and sometimes we're the villain and sometimes we're the hero, and that's the same is true with our stories and how we've run into people. But I do feel like there is definitely some people here who did you dirty and they betrayed you, and they know that they betrayed you, and they want to ask for your forgiveness. And that's something that they're telling people now is like, I wish that I could ask them for forgiveness because of what I did, the actions that I took, but I know that I'll never be able to reach out to them again. They won't give me the time of day. And that may be something too, like they're like, well, I just wish that they would give me the time of day. Like I earned that, or I'm owed that. But at the same time, there's others that they realize that they're not. Like, they realize that there's nothing that they can do to invite you back into their lives again. And so this is just a hope and a prayer. And maybe even saying I'm sorry isn't even for you. It may be just for them, right? It may not be a true, I hope that you forgive me. It may be just a forgive me so that I can feel less guilty, so that I can feel better about it. And sometimes that's what forgiveness is. Like, when people ask for forgiveness, it's not truly because they feel like they did something wrong or because they feel like they're trying to absolve the situation. They're really just trying to make themselves feel better, feel less guilty, feel like, oh, okay, it's okay. And so that's something else that's coming through. But I don't feel like that's true with everybody here. I do feel like there's a lot of people that do wish that they could ask for your forgiveness because how they treated you was actually returned tenfold to them. There's somebody who treated them that same way. I specifically just heard someone got treated like an object instead of a person, and that was something they maybe always treated you like an object, or like you were a trophy to them, or that, you know, you weren't somebody that was worthy of being seen as a person. And that's never true. Okay, that is never true. No matter how another person might feel that way or treat you that way, that is never true. You are deserving, and you are a person. You're a human with feelings and emotions, and you experience the world just like everybody else. And you're deserving of love and unconditional love. And I hope that you know that. And I know that many of you are definitely working on loving yourselves and being there for yourself and setting up strong boundaries for yourself. And I'm so proud of you guys for doing that, because that takes so much courage. But these are people who, they did not respect you in the way that you deserved, and therefore they betrayed you, they hurt you, they manipulated you, and now whatever it is that they did is getting returned to them, because that's the energy that they gave out, right? Like, what you give is what you get. So if you're a shady, grumpy, manipulative person, eventually that is going to get returned to you by somebody who's even more shady, grumpy, and manipulative than you are. right? And the same goes for people who are loving, kind, and compassionate. If you're a loving, kind, and compassionate person, eventually that loving kindness and compassion is going to be returned to you tenfold. And it's just right now that negative energy is catching up with them, and they realize what they did was wrong. For others, they don't. They just want to be free from the guilt of what they're carrying from the hardship that they went through. And others still, I feel like they're saying that you'll never forgive them, but you deserve to be forgiven. So there's a lot of different stories that are coming in here, and it does revolve around forgiveness. But I do feel like there's definitely a split where some people, I would say more than not, they don't feel like they really did anything wrong. They just want to be free from the guilt. And then I would say that there are other people who got that returned to them, and they finally have realized the chaos that they put you through, and how they really do want your forgiveness. They want to say that I'm sorry, but they also are aware that that's never going to happen, and they have to let go, because what's done is done, and you've cut them out, and you had every right and every reason to cut them out. Okay, so, and this is the image that's on the box and on the deck. So this is the one that's if you guys are looking for this particular deck, that's the image that's on there. It says, let go, blame, and punishment, heal the past. So it's Blue Soul Teo. Tool Soul Teo. Yeah, so I totally messed it up. Blue Soul Teo is a Mesoamerican earth mother of the Aztecs and a Huastic, an indigenous Mexican people, a patroness of midwives. She's known primarily as the filth deity. Her name derives from the Nahuatl word for garbage. Said to be the eater of impurity, she has connections with lust, vice, and ritual purification. She could lure people to commit immoral acts, but would absolve them afterwards. People confess their worst misdeeds to Tool Solteo through her priests and receive total forgiveness. She is associated with childbirth, with witchcraft, moon cycle, menstruation, cotton, and broomsticks. When you've said or done something you regret, it can weigh heavily on your heart. It doesn't matter how long ago the mistake was made. You can go on punishing yourself for a lifetime. If someone hurt, betrayed, or disappointed you, it can be extremely challenging to let go of the harm they caused. Tool Soul Teo brings forward the most potent healing method that exists in our universe, forgiveness. She says, you've chosen a profound spiritual practice. This process may transform your life. Holding on to the guilt or resentment eats away at the body and spirit. Bitterness is unprocessed anger and will only fester, doing nothing to bring about healing change. This does not mean you condone abusive or cruel acts. It doesn't mean you forget or you deny the harm. It means acknowledging that in order to move forward in life, to claim both health and happiness, you must work on forgiving yourself and others. Just being willing is enough. Say an empathic prayer to bring the energy of forgiveness into your heart. I will take care of the rest. Forgiving is not always easy. It needs careful and thorough attention. It may not happen overnight, but remember, there's nothing on earth that cannot be healed through the miracle of forgiveness. Reconciliations within a key relationship is within reach. If you've experienced abuse or trauma, seek appropriate help and offer a genuine apology. The invocation is, I forgive myself, I forgive them, and I set us both free. You know, and whether people are aware of how they're treating you or not, a great prayer. In fact, I believe I learned this by reading You Can Heal Your Life by, I can't remember her name right now. She's the affirmation queen. She wrote all these books, and I don't know why her name's not coming to me. But anyways, there was this line in there that was like, and you say your name, forgive, you say their name, first and last if you know it, for what they did to me, for they did not know how they hurt me. I forgive them, and I set us both free. Like, that's a prayer that I've used so much on my journey. And I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but forgiveness is key to freeing ourselves from the hurts and the pains of the past. And I know forgiveness is really hard because there are some things on earth that have happened to people. It's like, it's unforgivable. And it's not forgiving the deed. We're not forgiving the deed. We're forgiving so that we can break the chain that connects us to them. saying, I deserve to be set free from that. I deserve to let go of the shame, the guilt, the burden, the pain that this suffering has brought into my life, because you do. And I feel like for those of you that are on this journey, and regardless, it's like the people in your past are now realizing how they've treated you, because it's getting returned to them. And especially people that you've cut out from your life. They didn't have anybody to pour that energy onto, especially if you identify with being an empath. There's this energy where now they don't have anybody that's just going to put up with their BS, and it's getting returned to them, and oftentimes in a much crueler and vicious way than how they did it. It's not being received or absorbed like it was with you. And so now they're realizing, like, wow, I really did treat them like crap, and I feel bad about that. And others are just like, I just want to rid myself of the guilt. They don't like carrying the guilt. But that is something that they're saying to people right now. It's surprising that they're saying that, because who knew that they would ever want to even ask for forgiveness, especially when they were so adamant about not liking you or not caring about you along the way, right? So that is what I see for the collective energy. Let's go ahead and set this up here. All right, so for pile 1, we do have this dice with Venus on it for you to choose from. Or we have this unicorn pendant. Pile 2, we have this dice with Saturn on it for you to choose from. Or we have this green aventurine for you to choose from. Pile 3, we have this dice with Saturn on it for you to choose from. Or we have this chakra pendant for you to choose from. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel called to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Venus on it, or you felt called to this gold unicorn pendant, or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on the surprising things your haters are saying about you. We're all here sharing this human experience together. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. I do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, there might be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There is no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. If the message resonates with you, it means so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. It's a free way to support the channel, as well as keeping in mind that your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing it with you today. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it, and we're going to find out some more about the surprising things your haters are saying about you, pile 1. The surprising things your haters are saying about you, pile 1. The surprising things your haters are saying about you. Okay, so we've got the 8th house, we've got Capricorn energy, and we've got the sun. well, I just don't know, Pile One. You're just a big old mystery now. You used to share everything with everyone, and we all knew exactly what was going on in your life, but we just can't find out a darn thing about you no more. That's what this feels like. So weird. So random. Yeah, the surprising thing they're saying about you. They can't find anything about you anymore. They don't know about what's going on in your life, where you're at, who you're with, who you're talking to, what you're doing with your life. And that's what they're telling people. They're like, I just don't know anything about them anymore. And they're keeping tabs on you too. Without end. I mean, they are stalking you on social media. They are trying to figure out people who know you. And I feel like you have actually just kind of gone into a self-induced solitude. Some of you could be isolating. Like, some of you could be isolating. But I do feel like most of you are very much in this induced solitude where it's just like, you know, I'm just healing. I'm releasing. I'm shedding. I'm growing. I'm expanding. And I'm working on myself. But also the surprising thing about it is that even though there's a time where they maybe made fun of you, they told everybody that you didn't know what you were talking about, now they're telling people, like, I wish I knew what was going on with Pile One, because they actually always had valid information. They always had sound advice. They always had good knowledge that helped me with my own journey. And now I don't know where they're at. Now I don't know what they're doing. And they feel like you've become rigid in the fact that you're tired of sharing your wisdom with others. And I don't feel like that's it at all. In fact, I feel like you're just tired of sharing it with people who don't care. You know, it's like that. It's like you can only stay involved in one-sided situationships for so long before you're like, I gotta go. I can't put into this anymore. And it may shock your haters. It may shock the people that you're with, but you know, who cares? And I do also feel like there's someone here where their haters are saying that you're very promiscuous, you're sleeping around with a lot of people, and that's why you're not posting anything online anymore, is because you don't want people to know that maybe you broke one of your codes or your morals or something. Like maybe you were practicing celibacy and you were telling people that you were practicing celibacy, and now you're not posting anything about it, and so they're trying to tell people, oh, like, they can't stay true to anything. They can't stay true to their word. But they're also coming back. Like, the thing is that they're also coming back and they're saying, like, oh my gosh, like, I actually was following them. Like, I actually cared about what they had to say, but I didn't want it to be from them. Like, if it had been anybody else, I'd have been much better receiving it. They do also feel like you're very much in your emotional ego, and like you do a lot of what you do for attention. And that sometimes makes you a hypocrite, and that sometimes makes you very even cynical in a way. Like, and that's not, like, again, I always just point out, like, we're tapping into how people who dislike you see you. So there's no need to take it personal. That's what this is. This reading is just for confirming your intuition and also for entertainment. So remember that whatever comes through, it's not the truth of who you are. You are so much more complex than how anybody out there sees you. And the main thing is to trust, believe, and honor yourself, okay? But yeah, there's definitely this energy where they're like saying, like, oh, you lied about things and you don't want to keep working hard towards what it was that you were building anymore, because it just, you know, you always tend to give up after a certain amount of time. And I feel like that's not true at all. I just feel like there's people here where you were sharing your wisdom with. So say, like, maybe it's Facebook or Instagram, right? But maybe you have a YouTube channel or a forum or a blog that you post on regularly. This is just an example. And you stopped sharing on Instagram and Facebook because people obviously weren't appreciating it, right? And it's just like, it was an extra step, and it was like weighing your options and saying, like, this is something that I can let go of. But the people who were hating you were the ones that were on your social media and watching every step. But I feel like you're still posting where it matters, where it's being received, where people are honoring you and people see the value that you have. You're definitely a hard worker here. But yeah, your haters are saying, like, I think the most surprising thing here, at least it feels like the most surprising thing, is that they actually are, like, I wish that I could still get the information from pile 1 because it was actually good information, right? Don't know what you got till it's gone. Ain't paradise to put up a parking lot. All in all, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you don't know what you got until it's gone. That's it. It was easy to make fun of, betray you, manipulate you when you were around, but then the minute that you bunked out and you cut ties with them in that way, now they're like, oh, wait a second, there's a huge void that's left behind, and they don't know what to do with it because when you're not getting that information constantly, it's like they take it for granted when it's there, and then the minute it's gone, they realize just how valuable it was. So, what the surprising thing your haters are saying about you, pile 1. The surprising thing your haters are saying about you, pile 1. Yeah. This could be a Leo, or you could have Leo in the 7th house and the 11th house. You could have Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Interesting. Okay, so the claws come out. Oh yeah. Ooh, the claws come out. The surprising thing they're saying about you. I loved you, pile 1. I loved you and supported you. I was always there for you. I liked every one of your posts. I read every one of your posts. They did it with extenuating circumstances and their own personal agendas, let me tell you. But they loved you. Everything they did for you, they loved you. Everything they do for you, they loved you. I love you so much. I do this because I love you. This could even be family. They're saying that. I do what I do for them because I love them. They wouldn't be where they are because without me, they'd have nothing. But I love them. This energy makes me feel sick to my stomach, guys. Yeah, okay. This is somebody who's brutal. Or there's a lot of people here. We could have a brother, a mother, a father, a grandmother, community, religious community here. A sister, a friend, co-workers. This could be anybody. So the surprising thing that they say about you, maybe it's not surprising, but they're definitely gossiping about you. I feel like the most surprising thing though is that what they have is good information and good advice. They definitely have good advice, and I support them and I love them. But other than that, they're saying these really raunchy things about you. These really, I don't like it. I don't like it. They're saying that you get involved in lost causes. You're putting your time, your energy, and effort into something that'll never pan out. There's no way you're going to be successful at what you're doing. You just don't have what it takes. And yeah, sure, maybe other people are successful at it, but you're not everyone else. You always give up when the going gets good. There's nothing that you've ever finished. And that you're not actually looking at your past. That you're not seeing the truth of how you've always gotten involved in things and you've always given up on things. That you're only doing this because it's going to bring you fame and fortune or luxury and money. And it's you're not actually doing it because you love it. You're not actually doing it because you're passionate about it. I feel like they're definitely projecting how they feel onto you, and they're trying to make it seem like that's your truth. And I actually feel like the sad thing is that there's people who are listening to them. And a lot of these people aren't going to go out of their way to ask you, pile 1. And that's so unfortunate. That's one thing that gossip always gets me, because it's people accept gossip without actually taking it to the person who they heard about, right? It's it's easy for me to pass it on, but actually going and confronting the person that it's about to see if it's true or not, or just to let them know, hey, this is what's being said about you, that. Not very many people do that. I'm not saying that there aren't people who don't. I do think there are, and I believe there are people who do. But it's just the percentage of people who actually do that it's minuscule compared to the amount of people who just continue to pass on gossip and just believe whatever they hear from one side of the story. But the surprising thing that your haters is saying about you right now is that they loved you and they supported you and they want to support you and show you their support, but that they don't believe in you at all. They don't believe that you're going to go very far doing what you're doing. They believe that eventually you're going to recognize that it's worthless and it's not ever going to pan out, and that when that time comes, they're going to be the ones that rush in and say, "We told you so." They're going to be the first ones to try to make you feel even extra guilty. And I feel like Source is just reminding you, like, don't give up, because I do feel like whatever it is that you're putting energy and effort into is definitely a passion for you. It's something that you really do care about, but they're not, whoever this is, like, they're just telling people that you're not seeing clearly. Yeah, you're just a big dreamer. Like, your life is full of dreams and you don't see reality for what it is. Right? You're being childish. You think that you can dream and create a life that you desire based on these whims, even though you're super creative. You've always been creative on the bottom of the deck, but it's never worked out for you in the past. Yeah, this is a very interesting energy. They just feel like you're repressing what's happened in the past for you. They feel like if only you had listened to them, then you wouldn't be struggling the way that you are. Not that they know that you're struggling. I feel like that's the thing. They don't even know if you're struggling or not. They're just assuming that you're struggling. They're just assuming that you're having a hard time. They're just assuming that things are falling apart because you're not posting everything everywhere. Like, you're not sharing certain things with people. And I feel like the reason being is because where you were sharing that information, it's just not, like, again, if it was like Facebook or Instagram, and it could be any other platform, or it could just be in general, like with certain people, right? It just wasn't benefiting you, and you realize it was just a drain on your energy, and you're like, there's no reason for me to even post this here anymore. It's just such a drain. It's a drag. It's not even getting received, and what's the point? House 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. This is somebody who is trying to make people feel guilty for how much support that they've given you. They want everybody to feel guilty. They want everybody to feel sorry for them. They want everybody else to feel bad. And so they're trying to make it out to be like you're the bad guy here. And I feel like there's a lot of people around them that maybe believe them for some time. But I do feel like things are going to be shown. You know, it's interesting because you've got the Six of Cups with the dream here, right here, and we've got the Six of Cups here. So the main thing is the surprising thing about this person or these people, your haters, is that they really are trying to convince everybody that they love you. That they love you. They would do anything for you. They support you. They see your value. They see your worth. But at the same time, they're telling everybody that you're just not ever going to make it doing what you want. Like, if you want to be a songwriter or a singer or something like that, it's just such a saturated market. There's no way Pile 1's ever going to be a songwriter and singer. Like, who's going to see them? That doesn't happen to people we know. That only happens to people who are super lucky, and Pile 1's just not lucky like that, right? And it doesn't have to be just that. It could be anything, but that's just the example they're showing me right now. Like, that's what they're saying about you. But then they're trying to convince people, but they're like, but I still believe in them. But that doesn't line up. Like, they're very contradictory when they talk about you. It's like, but I love them and I believe in them. But just because I believe in them, that's not enough. They need other people to believe in them. And honestly, Pile 1, that is the hugest delusion of all. We don't need anybody to believe in us. There's a book that I'm reading, and I cannot remember the name of the author, but it's The Act of Living Creatively, I believe is the name of the book. And it's so, the book itself, it would make such a great coffee table book. It's absolutely a phenomenal book, and I'm almost done reading it. And it's like you can open up to any chapter, and the chapter could just be like some guidance for the day to remind you about living in the state of creativity. But one of the main themes of this book is reminding us that we don't create for other people. We create for ourselves. And as long as we love what we're creating, it doesn't matter if it's received by others. But the minute that we stop and we try to create for others is the minute that we've limited ourselves. And we're no longer in that space of creativity, which is when we find it's like when we connect with our soul, is in that moment of creativity. And your haters don't see that, right? They can't see that because they're living in a very superficial, materialistic world. And so they might be looking at it from a money standpoint. Like maybe you're not yet getting the money that you thought you would be, or that they expected you to be making by now. Or, you know, whatever it does, it feels very materialistic though. It's like, this could be even subscribers. Like maybe they expected you to have like 15,000 subscribers by now, or 100,000 subscribers by now, and then only then would you be successful. But maybe your subscriber count is constantly growing, and maybe the people that you have that you're impacting is just constantly growing. You know, whatever it is, it's like maybe it's a business and you're selling product, and they're like, oh, you're not going to be successful unless you're selling like 100,000 units a month, but you're selling enough to pay your bills and to take care of yourself, right? It's just that they have this absolutely unrealistic goal about who you should be in order to be seen as successful. And they're trying to convince everybody that that's not what you're doing. Like you're just struggling and you're barely making it by. And if it weren't for them, that you wouldn't have ever even been seen in the first place. And they're trying to make it seem like they're the ones who did all the work here for you, but they're not at all. Oh, but that they love you, right? That they love you. We have the sun in Aquarius with harmony. Yeah, see, this is the thing. That's the other thing, too. It's like, I feel like the reason they're doing this is because there's nothing that bothers you anymore. Like, you're in a very constant state of peace and harmony. Like, you feel good about where you're going. You feel good about what you're creating in your life. And you're showing up from this place of tapping into the inner child, especially with this flipping over and the page of coins here. With radical curiosity, seeing as if for the first time every time, like you're coming from reconnecting with the inner child, and you're not worried about where they're at. Again, this is always just, these readings are always just for fun, just to kind of take a peek at where people who have maybe tried to put us down are at now as they see us grow. But I feel like the thing is that that's the thing they're mad about the most, is that they're saying you're immature, they're saying you're being childish, but it's not you being immature and childish, it's just you being really connected to the inner child now and choosing to follow what your heart wants. And they're saying, but I love you, I have the best of intentions with you. And I even said this to somebody the other day I was talking to at Walmart. I was at Walmart shopping. And it was the first time I'd been back to the store since I'd gotten sick, and I was so worn out because I'd spent so much time there just getting groceries because I was out of everything here. And the lady who checked me out, her name was Michelle. She was absolutely phenomenal, just an amazing woman to talk to, coming back out of being isolated from being sick. And we were talking about that. It's this energy of where I totally spaced out what I was going to say. Well, okay, it's gone. Whatever it was, it's gone. I'm still hanging in there, guys. I'm still healing. But she was just really, really honest about that. It's like when we worry about where everyone else is at, right? It's like we forget ourselves. And we were talking about the value of loving our bodies and loving ourselves, and how to fall in love with the soul and not a face. And it's like these things that are much deeper than skin deep. And it's like, it feels like where your haters are, everything that they're doing obviously is skin deep. They're not taking a look at themselves. They're not healing. They're not overcoming. And that's the thing that's coming through here. It's just, it's very skin deep. It's very superficial. It just doesn't matter. And when you come from this place of innocence, it's being well received in a very strong and powerful place. And it's wild because I feel like they're getting mad that you're interacting with other people besides them now too. And they want to be privy to that information, but they're not. And so they're just trying to convince everybody who listened to them that they loved you first, and that they love you, and that, oh, okay, that's what I was trying to say, is that I talked to her about this. I was like, you know, and it was odd because, and I remember what I want to say now. But the thing is that there was another woman who had checked out, and she even stopped when I was telling this to Michelle. And I said, you know, this is what we're talking about. Love is only skin deep sometimes, and people don't realize that. And we're learning how to love deeper. We're learning how to experience that on a deeper level. But the highway to hell is paved with the best of intentions. It doesn't mean that we should follow that road. And there was a little lady who was much, much older, and she stopped behind me and she listened to our conversation for probably a good 5 minutes. She was just standing there listening to me. And so I kept looking at her, and I was looking at Michelle. I was including her in the conversation, and she kept listening and nodding and was agreeing with us and stuff. She never said anything, but she was just nodding along and observing the conversation. It was just such an interesting thing. But remember, that's what made her stop, is when I said that, you know, the highway to hell is paved with the best of intentions, but that doesn't mean that we should do what everybody's saying. Oh, I have the best of intentions for you. And I feel like that's what your haters are trying to convince everybody right now. Like, I have the best of intentions for pile one. No, they really don't, because they don't know what's best for you. No one can know what's best for us. Only we can know what's best for us. Yeah, distorted desire. Yeah, conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. Yeah, so they have distorted desires of where they feel like you should be on your journey, and versus where you're at now. And their desire, it's like, it's kind of twofold, right? They're saying, well, I'm the one that supported them. And so it's almost as if when you get big, when you get noticed, when you become successful, whatever that is, because it's different for everybody. But like, when you get the recognition, let's just say that, when you get the recognition and things are working out for you, they want to be the first ones that step forward and say, like, I was supporting you all along. There's a song, I wish I could remember. I want to say it's Godspeed, like, or God Mode. I think it's because I'm GODMODE. Yeah, that's the way that I'm feeling. I cannot keep it low key. If you don't like it, then leave. If you can't see it, then whatever. Anyways, but I think that's it. And I can't remember who sings it. But there's a line in there where it's like, he talks about how sometimes our loudest haters are the first people who step up when we reach fame and success. Like, they're the first ones to say, like, I've been following you all along. And so that's one of the things why they want to keep getting these updates on you. And they keep telling people, like, I'm the one that's been following them all along. I'm the one that's been helping them all along. I was the one that was in their life all along. But they're also going to be the first ones that, when things fall apart, they want to be the first ones to come and swoop in and make you feel bad about the journey, right? So they do not have the best of intentions. They have an agenda for sure. We have Avenger here. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And then we have resorting to violence in the name of a cause. So I do feel like you're avenging yourself just by keeping true to your journey. This could be a father, with the father card coming out here, or someone that is much older than you and is in a masculine energy. Could be a Leo, doesn't have to be. We have the light attributes are talent for creating and supporting life, a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So this is definitely the energy that you're exhibiting right now. And the shadow is dictatorial control and abuse of authority. Yeah, so this is what it feels like. It's like, this could be family. It doesn't have to be, but I was getting that energy in the beginning. Like, this could be family coming in, and they're like trying to tell everyone, especially with Capricorn energy here, this could absolutely be the father and the son, right? The godfather of the universe. It's like, there's this energy where it's like they're trying to convince everybody that they love you, they care about you, they're supporting you, but they're also telling everyone how you're screwing up and how you're not ever going to amount to anything because you never have. So what's different now? So we have the thief energy, which sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. And the shadow is stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So they're definitely trying to hold something over you. It just feels like, I don't know, I feel like these are people you're connected to and you've had to cut ties with them, and you just don't tell them anything anymore. Like, you're very, very quiet. They're very envious of you. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So they're very envious of you, they're very jealous of you, but I do feel like they tell everybody that you're jealous of them because they're living their dream. They've got everything in their life. Things are working out for them. But there's also this energy coming through. It's like where I feel like if you ever even got a peek into their life, you would see that things are actually falling apart. Relationship. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Yeah, so there's definitely some sort of connection, a physical connection with this person or these people. Health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So they could have health issues. You could have health issues. Something that's coming up very powerfully here. The surprising thing your haters are saying about you. Yeah. So we have Archangel Ragael with justice, discipline, and harmony. You know, we had harmony come out in another card, didn't we? Yeah, with the radical sun oracle here. Harmony came through with the sun and Aquarius. So I feel like the main thing with this card, right? Justice is being served. Like, things are going to work out for your highest good with Archangel Ragael coming in here. But I also feel like the thing is that they're telling people that you're absolutely unbothered by modern day problems. Like, things that should matter don't matter to you. And that's why they feel like you're just a lost cause. Like, you're basically going to be suffering for the rest of your life because you just don't get it. And I feel like the thing is that you do get it and they don't understand where you're coming from. Longing for love, loneliness. Oh, yeah. They feel like they're on the outside looking in. And the thing is, too, pile one, is that I feel like if you are in a position where you're getting attention from others, they're mad about that. Like, these are people who want to be the center of attention. They want to have everybody's attention on them. They want to have the spotlight on them. And you being you naturally takes that away from them. Like, they feel like a shadow in the background whenever you're around. And so they definitely, when they have the spotlight on them, you are the bane of their existence. The energy is gaining momentum. Waxing moon. Yeah, I do feel like they're going to be exposed soon, for sure. And not just to you. I'm talking about to the people that they're telling these stories to. That's part of the justice. It's like whatever it is that they're saying about you is going to be, yeah, it's going to be illuminated with illumination flipping over here. Yeah, illumination flipped over, for sure. It's going to be revealed, right? And you're gonna be finding happiness. 'Cause I'm happy. What is that, a Bruno Mars song coming in? Yeah, so the moon. Satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. So they are saying that you're very emotional and that you're not logical with your approach to life. And I feel like the truth is that you show up from this very empathic place for people who are ready and willing to receive that. We have Mercury in Aquarius, originality. You're very unique. You have very unique ideas. You're a very unique person. But I feel like the surprising thing that they're saying about you is that they love you, but you're so weird. Like, you're the oddball out. Whether that's in the family or in their group of friends or whatever it is, they're saying they love you, but you're just the weird one out, and there's no way they could ever level with you because of that. Yeah, we have Jupiter in Capricorn with control. Again, this father energy coming in with this card. This could be your father, someone that you looked up to like a father, but they're just trying to control the outcome here. They're trying to control it for themselves. We have first quarter moon with your commitment is being tested. And I do feel like that's true here. It's like when things didn't happen as fast as you thought that they would, your commitment to your journey is being tested. It doesn't mean you're not going to get to where you want to go. It just means that it's like we have to prove to source that this is what I really want. And I feel like more than anything, it's not even just proving it to source, it's proving it to ourselves. That this is what I really want to pour my time, energy, and effort into. And so I'm really going to do this time. Cleanse. Yeah, your energy is getting cleansed out right now. So they're still drowning. They're drowning in their energy. They're drowning in their BS. They're drowning in their lies. And you're being cleansed. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. Yeah, kindness and nurturing. Okay. The surprising thing your haters are saying about you. You're so kind. You're so gentle. You're too soft for this world. Like, these are things that they're saying, and it seems nice, but it's not. It's definitely malicious, and it's coming from a very malicious place. And it's surprising because it seems like they're like saying nice things, right? Like, oh, it's nice. No, they're not nice things. They're very condescending. All right, Kuan Yin, where are you at? King Neptune. Kuan Yin, she says, refill your inner cup, have compassion for yourself and others. And we have that satisfy emotional needs and nurture self and others. Bodhisattva, I'm not sure if I said that right, of infinite compassion, Kuan Yin, is worshipped in the East Asian Buddhism as she who hears the cries of the world. Originally a princess named Mile Shan, she was tyrannized by her father. Oh my gosh. Okay. For renouncing luxury in favor of a simple life in a monastery. So you could have renounced luxury, a birth, something you were going to inherit or something like that. And they're just saying like, well, why can't you just take this? Or why can't you just follow the same path as us? Right? So definitely father energy all over this reading. He ordered her execution, but at her death, a tiger appeared and placed a peach of immortality in her mouth. She rose into the divine realms and instantly transformed into a goddess. Kuan Yin brings healing for the damaging effects of patriarchy. Yeah, so it says, how do you hear the true needs of your soul? Do they whisper or do you have to scream to be heard? Do you ever stop to listen to the messages of your body, or are you caught in a trap of self-criticism and harsh judgment, pushing yourself to be perfect? You've been prioritizing your masculine energy, which governs decision-making, planning, goal-setting, and problem-solving. The feminine voice of your heart, body, and spirit has been drowned out, but she now needs to be heard. See yourself sitting with Kuan Yin, bathed in her peach-colored radiance. Allow any guilt about being cared for to melt away. Imagine a cup inside of you being abundantly refilled by this gentle light. What is your feminine energy asking for? It's time to prioritize receiving love and friendship, self-care rituals, nurturing food, gifts, compliments, relaxation, fun, and healthy pleasures. What you're seeking will only come from loving yourself just as you are. So get a massage treatment. Your body needs safe touch. Limit the information you consume from news outlets, social media, and people who deplete you. You're being helped to eat, cook more nourishing foods and or heal damaging eating patterns. Seek out positive images that celebrate body diversity. See yourself, another person, or a situation through the eyes of compassion. The invocation is Kuan Yin, refill my cup generously with your light. Help me to love my body just as it is and nourish my whole being with kindness. So there could have been a lot of judgment from these people about how you look, what you eat, what you consume, what you do with your day-to-day. I mean, we're talking about haters, but this does feel close to home, like somebody that is really close to you. So again, we were getting father energy here. It doesn't have to be, but again, it's all over the reading, right? The Capricorn, this was giving me father energy. There was another card that gave me father energy earlier. And then Kuan Yin, she got disowned by her own father as well. And so there's definitely an energy here where it's like these people believe that they're doing it for the best of intentions for you, but it's not. It's only coming from their own selfish agendas. And that's the surprising thing. It's like they really do believe that they're trying to help you out. There's something about it it's the illusion. They really believe in the illusion and they just want you to see the illusion and believe in the illusion too, but you've seen the illusion as the illusion and now you're coming from a place of truth. But because they don't understand that, they can't ever resonate with you. And so they're definitely using it as a means to gossip about you, spread lies about you. They're trying to manipulate the situation to control you to going back to an old way of being or to continue on their unhealed patterns in living. Wow. So that was a really strong energy coming through here. This is what I see for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave a little sun and a moon emoji together and say, I choose to balance my energies, knowing that it is okay for me to receive the things I desire in my life while coming from a place of authentic truth. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Saturn on it, Or perhaps you felt called to this piece of green aventurine. Or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle. This is going to be your reading on the surprising things your haters are saying about you. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. We're all here sharing this human experience together. Now, I do things differently here on this channel, so there might be triggering statements that arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint to deepen our healing journey. And if the messages happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. Please know that your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing them with you today. So let's go ahead and get to it. And just really quick, I want to mention that we are tapping into how other people, specifically people who don't like you, view you. So this is in no way, shape, or form the truth of who you are. We're just tapping into where their energy is and what it is that they're saying about you at this time, okay? So pile 2. What's the surprising thing your haters are saying about you? The surprising things that your haters are saying about you, pile 2. Okay, so a lot of 8th house energy coming in today. We've got 8th house, we've got Taurus energy, and we've got the North Node. So you could have the North Node in Taurus, in the 8th house. Put your South Node in Scorpio. You could have Scorpio, North Node, Taurus, South Node. Could be a Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. You could have Scorpio and Mercury is coming in really loudly, and Libra in the 10th house, or Libra in the 3rd house is also coming in. Okay, let's get on with it. So the surprising thing that your haters are saying about you is that you're being selfish. You're being so selfish. You're only caring about self-love. You're only caring about taking care of yourself. You're only caring about how you feel in certain situations. You're not taking into account where everyone else is coming from. Or that you're only worried about what you want to do on your journey. But also that they feel like you're doing what you were meant to do because it fits you, it suits you. You're mysterious, so maybe you're doing something very spiritual, or you're just very, you know, very connected to your spiritual practices. And they're like, well, surprisingly it fits. Maybe you are a witch or a warlock, and they're like, surprisingly that fits. If you are someone that's just very spiritual, they're like, it's surprisingly it fits. But I feel like the main thing is that they're telling people like, you're just really selfish because it's the only thing that you care about. You don't care about them anymore. You don't care about how they feel. You don't care about where they're coming from. You don't care about how they've tried to do this, that, and the other for you. But you're only worried about what works for you and what matters to you. And I feel like there's a reason for that, but they're not saying what the reason for that is. They just want you back in their life. And I feel like there's also this energy where they're hoping that if they say enough quote unquote kind things about you, that eventually it'll get back to you and that you'll come back around and be in their life again. But I do feel like whoever this is somebody who's jealous of you. This is somebody who's envious of you. This is somebody who's tried to possess you in the past. They've tried to control you. They've tried to exert their dominance over you. And that is something that you've had to walk away from. And so they just want you to come back so that they can have that part of their life again, whatever that was. So this could be a narcissist. This could be a group of people who are just very manipulative, very controlling. Conniving is the word that's coming in. It came in so loudly right now. Very conniving. And yet they're still trying to tell people that, like, hey, you're doing exactly what you're meant to do. They're also telling people, like, I was really loyal to Pile 2 and they just basically kicked me to the curb. But there's some weird energy that's coming in where I actually feel like you had to walk away because they kicked you to the curb and they want it to be seen as though they're the victim in the situation. And I don't feel like that's true at all. I feel like they actually very much hurt you. They did some really crazy things to you, and they maybe even ended the friendship, connection, or situationship with you, and they want everybody to feel like, to pity them. They want people to pity them because they like that. Yeah. This could be an institution too. This could be a job, or a group of people. So I was saying like that, like there's this interesting energy that's been coming up on the reading where maybe you're super religious or you came from a super religious group and then suddenly you realize like this is not for me and this is not going to resonate with everybody. This is a very specific message coming in right now. But you could have been with a very religious, hyper-religious group and you realized it was just too stifling and too suffocating for you. And then suddenly you're like, I've discovered spirituality and I've been following the path of spirituality for a while. It's much more free, it's much more relaxed, and it feels much more in alignment with who I am. And I feel like if this is your message, they're telling people how they just want you to come back to the love of whatever it was that you guys believed in. God, Christ, Buddha, or, you know, whatever, one of the many gods that exist, whatever it is, right? Like whatever it is that you were believing in. And they're just like, we just want you to come back to this love. And right now you're straying aside and you're getting involved in things that you have no business getting involved in, like the occult, right? And so they're saying everybody that you've been touched by evil or you've been touched by the darkness or you've been touched by sin or something along those lines. And we're just trying to get back. But somehow we always knew that pile 2 was going to go down this road. This is such an interesting energy. I never know what's going to come out in these readings. And so it's always just like, wow, people really like this. It's just kind of, it's not that it's funny. It's just, it makes me laugh that people really believe that this is how you keep friends, because it's like, they don't want to see what they're doing wrong until that wrong has been done to them. And even then, sometimes people don't, you know, they don't see it. They're still like, oh, how dare they treat me like that? Like, I would never do something like that to another person. But they're the person who is the perpetrator in the first place. Like, well, okay, whatever, homie. Yeah, spiritually. Yeah, it's interesting that the Chariot's going to flip over and in the reverse. Before we even look at the bottom of the deck, like, let's talk about it. Right? That's what they're saying. Like, you've spiritually lost your way. Yeah, this is very hyper-focused on what you believe. What you, like, the faith that you practice, who you pray to, or whatever. And it's like, I feel like whatever it is that you do now, you feel very much connected to the higher powers and the divine realm. So maybe you were told that Jesus is the way and the light, and it just never resonated with you, and you were like, I don't know, I need to just kind of research myself for myself and this, that, and the other. And you realize, like, you know what, I really just believe in spirit or source, or I believe in the universe, and that feels better for you. And I feel like religion takes us away from the thing that's there to help us gain clarity for ourselves, which is faith. Religion tells us that we have a right to judge people when they don't agree with us. And religion tells us that we have to be hyper in the masculine and the patriarchy. And religion convinces us that if we don't follow a certain set of rules that might not even sit well with certain people, that we're going to burn in some long-term hell. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to believe or what not to believe, right? I'm just saying it's definitely, religion is focused on a fear-based approach. It's this place of, I'm going to scare the living bejeebus out of you so that you comply and conform to what I want you to comply and conform with. And, you know, like, there's this energy, and I say this now, pile 2, because this is something that has come up on my own journey. I've been, you know, I've talked to people who are super, super religious, and there's some people who I'm able to have conversations about source with them, regardless of what they believe, even if they're very Christian or very religious. And it's fine. We realize, we recognize the difference between us, but we also recognize that there's still a similarity that we can discuss, and we don't need to judge each other because of it. But I've also been in situations where I've been judged harshly by others. And I always tell people the difference between the God that you praise and the God that I praise is that my God is all unconditional love and would never ever judge me based on who I am or what I do. And I'm like, that's the only difference between the God you pray to and the God I pray to, because your God is based in fear and is harsh and judgmental and makes you feel small. And that's what people do to us. And that's our human perception of what we think God is. But I think I don't know if I posted it or not the other day, but I saw this video where she was talking about, you know, everybody says God has a plan, and we talk about that on this channel too, right? Like, Source has a plan, and there's always something behind what we all go through. But she said, she's like, you know, that only makes me question it more. And she's like, and then when everybody's saying like, oh, you know, God's gonna blame you and send you to hell for masturbating, and she has her cup of coffee. This lady is hilarious, by the way. She's like, I just don't think that whatever created me, if they created me, they made me this way, that they're going to be judging me for the way that I am when that was the way that they created me. She's like, so I always have far more questions than answers when everyone's like, just trust God's plan, just trust it, just trust it. And she's like, but I do believe there's something out there, because like when you have a person that passes away, you get touched by grace. And she's like, or when, you know, you have something that happens in your life, there's these moments where you feel that touch of grace, so you know that there's something else out there. But she's like, she just was mentioning, she's like, these hyper crazy rules that are coming in, they're so stifling and they're so overwhelming. She's like, I just don't think that whatever created us is up there judging us based on one moment to the next. And maybe it's an overall, but I just don't think they're judging us at all. I think they're just there to give us love when we're ready and willing to ask for that love and to receive that love. And, you know, that's very much kind of how I believe too. There's a lot more to it, but with the Chariot coming out in the reverse, it's definitely focused on your spiritual approach. And I feel like that's something that you've been through with these particular people is ridicule, spiritual ridicule, and ridicule of your faith, and ridicule of just who you are and what you choose to believe. And even though there's this essence of where they're saying it's absolutely perfect for you, you belong in that, like it works for you, it's something that makes so much sense for you. But along with that, they're also saying to people that like you've strayed from the path of righteousness, you've strayed from the path of truth. But the unique thing about being human and living this life is that there is many different right and wrongs as there are people who are alive. And that's why what works for one person isn't going to work for another. And there's no use in trying to force people into that box and saying like, I'm right and you're wrong. We spend so much time arguing about who's right and who's wrong, and we've started wars, and people's lives have been lost over who wants to be right and who has to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong, right? But people have lost their lives because of this, and that, when we step back, is actually the emotional ego. That I have to be right, so if I'm right, there has to be someone that's wrong. And so that's exactly where they're coming from, is that same like, I'm defending you because I feel like, oh well, it works for you, of course it works for you, you have that type of personality, but I'm still right, so that makes pile 2 wrong. They've strayed from their spiritual path. Yeah. Yeah, and you're conforming to like, so there's this energy with the 8 of coins here in the reverse. They're saying like you're conforming to the modern day trends. So like, oh, spirituality is trending now, so they're just conforming to that. They just conform to whatever's most convenient for them. This came out in pile 1 in the same place. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing, like that you're emotionally discontent, that it shows because you're being so selfish and only taking care of yourself. Like if you actually cared, you would take into account how other people feel. I feel like you've done that so much, and you've been in people-pleasing energy, and they've benefited from your people-pleasing energy. You're the one that had to cut the ties here for yourself. They're also saying that you're getting involved in a lost cause. Like this is all going to fade away. And it's so strange because Source is saying here that you're incredibly connected, and every day you're growing, and you're growing more spiritually sound in your practice. And the thing is they're coming from a very conceited place. Okay, so this could be a friend. They don't have to be, but this is someone who considered themselves your friend at some point, or family. Friend or family coming in here, energy. Yeah, and they pressured you into being a certain way. And they're conceited. They're coming from a very conceited, emotional place, and they want to be right, and they want to prove to everyone that they're right and that you're wrong. But that's not going to happen, because you found whatever it is that resonates with you, and if it's right for you, then it's right for you. It doesn't have to be right for everybody else. That's not what it is. It's finding what's right for us, because there is no true right or wrong. There's only what's right or wrong for us. And that's the thing. And they feel hurt because you've chosen something that feels right for you. Again, it doesn't have to be like, you know, you don't have to be casting spells, or you don't have to do, you could have just changed and now you're involved in tarot, or now you're involved in oracle cards, or now you're involved in divination, and you're involved in Reiki, and you're involved in spiritual healing and emotional healing and shadow work, and you're doing things that are very, like, they're saying it's part of the occult, and that can mean various different things, right? Or now you're praying to angels instead of just source, and you know, now you're asking for help from your guides, or now you're asking for help from your guardian angels, right? So like, these are things that are coming up, and they're saying like, you're just misguided, but truly they're misguided because they don't want to acknowledge that what is right for them isn't right for you. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be a source of tension, but they're making it a source of tension, and they're trying to make it a source of tension with everyone else. And so again, it was feeling like an institution. So this could be a gathering of religious people, or a gathering of people that you used to go to, maybe a Bible study, or it could even be like a book group. Like maybe you're involved in a book group or something like that, and it was something that came up when you guys talked about it. And, you know, there's just something here where you realize, like, I need to spread my wings and fly, and I need to leave. But they're saying to everybody, like, yeah, you know, it's good that you're putting yourself first after having gone through hardships and stuff, and you're doing something that works for you, but you're wrong. That's what they're trying to convince everybody, is that you're wrong. I feel like I'm going to get one confirmation, like one clarification card here for you. Oh, they want one more. Okay. Okay, yeah, I felt that. Okay, I guess that one's coming out too. So we've got, yeah, isolation, the Three of Swords. They're saying you're only doing this because your heart's broken, and that you are trying to isolate yourself. Didn't I say that at some point? I'm pretty sure I said that on your reading pile too, is that you have done a self-induced solitude or isolation. I think I said that on your reading. But anyway, so yeah, we have isolation here. Source is giving you assistance on this journey right now and helping you to reconnect in a very profound way. But if you see, this person or this ice is crying gold tears. So you've been given wisdom, and that has helped you shed from things that have kept you feeling isolated in the past. And through that, you're freeing yourself from something that was really harsh, really cold, really dismissive of who you were as a person, right? The other thing here is that maybe you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, and they were judging you based on that, right? Or it was a part of that community, but it wasn't all inclusive, and they were playing the victim, right? Or it could be that this was like a group of women and they were just bashing on men, and you were like, hold up, like, this just isn't working for me. Like, yeah, of course there's some bad guys, but there's some bad women too. Like, we all have the good and the bad and the ugly and the beautiful. Or vice versa, maybe it's a group of men and they were just bashing on women, or being really sexist or something like that, right? That's what they're showing. It's just like a group of people where it's like, at one point you felt like you resonated with them, but then as time went by, you realized it just became super stifling. It was cold. It was a desolate place to be in, right? Yeah, so now you're healing from this. And that healing means that you're drawing back into yourself, and you're finding balance within your journey. And now you're going with the flow, the Ace of Cups. Yeah, so now it's just like you found a state of peace, of rest, of trust, of faith. Right? Yeah. And they're still playing the politics. Okay. Yes, they're being shady here. They're trying to put on a good face, but they're being really shady. And they don't... Here's the thing. Some of these people may realize what they're doing, but I do feel like some of them are just coming from that societal construct where it's like, this is just what we do. We judge people who are different than us, and we're going to continue to judge people who are different than us. And that's part of the politics that come with that, right? Like, it feels like that type of energy. What else, source, for pile number 2? The surprising thing your haters are saying about you. Okay, thank you. They also want this one. Bottom of the deck, we have the North Node, destined to have, yeah. So I just feel like this is confirmation from source, just saying like you are on the right path. Like, don't question the decision that you made for yourself, because you're doing the right thing for yourself. And even if people agree with it or they don't agree with it, like ultimately it doesn't matter. It only matters how you see yourself, and it only matters how you feel about yourself. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, okay, this is interesting. So before we even look at the bottom of the deck, we have this card coming out with Venus in Aquarius with indecision. This gives you the symbol of Ma'at, right? Like weighing our heart versus the feather. But if you look at this, it's like you have the angel here and then the shadow aspect here. It's like they're saying that you've walked away from the light and that you're miserable, but you won't admit that you're miserable because you're too proud, or you're standing in your pride, or you're standing in your ego, or however it is that they're putting it. It's like, and so they're like, well, we've already won, but they don't want to admit that we've won. So they're trying to isolate themselves from us because they want to come back, but they're not coming back. And I just don't feel like that's the truth anymore. For you, maybe at one point you were questioning the journey you were taking because it was new, it was unfamiliar, and you know there's always doubts that come with that. But I feel like you've found your footing and you're now sure that this is the place for you, and they just don't see it that way. They can't see how that's working out for you. Yeah, so we have Venus in Taurus with romance. This is something you love. This is something you love. And this could be a partner. This could be a spouse. This could be someone that you had a relationship with. Again, we had friends and family come out in the reading as well. But they're trying to tell people like, oh, you know, like that came out in pile 1 too. Like, I love you. I'm doing this for your highest good. But it's not. Like, they're doing it so that they can placate the discomfort that's happening in their emotional ego. Repair. Making amends rather than fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. So that's the thing. They're not making amends with you. This is something like where, again, I feel like they made it very clear that they couldn't be around you and you had to walk away. But they're trying to tell everybody that you're the one that walked out on them. But I feel like you had to cut the cord. Not because you wanted to, but because they put you into that type of situation where you had to. It's not like you were choosing to leave them, but they left you with no choice, if that makes sense. So we have Knight that flipped over here. Loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. And the shadow is allegiance to destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. Yeah, so they have an allegiance to a destructive principle. Okay, like that's the thing. Their principles are saying like, well, it has to be like this. I see that big worm from the Friday movies. It's the principle of the matter. Like, that's how they're approaching it. It's like, now, to be fair, that whole thing between him and Smokey, whatever, legitimate. But when I say, like, that line was coming in really strong, it's the principle of the matter. Like, that's how they're approaching it. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could do whatever you want, but it's still the principle of the matter. Like, you have to come back and believe what we believe in. So, again, with this Knight coming out, showing that this could have been a love relationship as well. They're just saying you're being misguided right now, that you're just doing this because you don't see the light, but that's not true. You're in this rebel energy. A challenging authority to affect social change reflects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. This is what we've been talking about this entire reading. Exactly. The shadows rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So again, you are rejecting spiritual systems that just don't serve your inner needs. And whoever these people are, they're trying to tell everybody like, oh, well, it's good that they're taking care of themselves. But at the same time, they're only doing it because they're coming from a place of fear. They're coming from a place of isolation. Like, they're being super selfish. They don't care about us anymore. How dare they not care about us anymore? Yeah, self-esteem. They're jealous of you. That was coming through. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. The other thing is I feel like you've been a lot more confident since you've chosen yourself, and that means that you've taken your power back from them, and they were benefiting from having control over you. abundance. I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So there is talk of selling your soul to the devil. What? I'm sorry. It's not that it's funny. It's just like as it comes out, you just hear how absurd it is. Like, oh, because I chose the manifestation journey, the journey of truth, the journey of self-alignment. I chose all that and somehow I've sold my soul to the devil. Like, what an odd place to come from. Like, what do you really feel inside to say that about someone else? Because it's not gotta, I bet it's not pretty. I don't feel like it could ever be pretty. Like, you can't appreciate that someone's doing better for themselves. The only reason they're doing better for themselves is because they you know, signed a contract with the devil. What is that song? I played the fiddle. I don't know, it's a country song, but it's like coming out. It's like, is it the fiddle? I played the fiddle with the devil. Where he comes up, like, so I don't remember the lyrics. I don't remember. It's been so long since probably since I was a little kid since I heard this song. But it's like where the guy comes and he like mates a bet with the devil and he's like, I can, you know, like if you play the fiddle better than me, then you don't have to sell your soul to me or whatever. And so the devil and him start playing the fiddle. And the guy that made the bet ends up winning the bet and the devil gets sent back to hell. Like, that's the song. I wish I could remember the name of the song. It's like, I played the fiddle with the devil. I think that's the name of this. If you know, will you please put the lyric or the name of the song and the singer down below? If you know the song, and if not, that's okay. But just for those of you that do that for me, I really do appreciate it. It helps other people as well, and it helps me out so much. But yeah, that's what it's like. It's like they're not realizing that you made a bet for yourself and that they're actually the devil in your life. And they're getting sent away because you won the bet for yourself. It wasn't even against them. It was basically just betting if you could play the fiddle to the best of your ability, and you've done that, right? You've done that. Relationship repeat. Okay, so this could be an ex-lover. Shift, release, or enjoy. So this could be someone that was in your life as a relation, as a lover, an ex, and then you had to leave them, and they're like, well, of course this journey suits them. They're taking care of themselves now, but they need to come back to me because I'm the only thing that's good for them. Like, we're soulmates. We're meant to be. And it's like, you can lean on the soulmate card for only so long before you realize, like, you know, that's why it's hard with the soulmate. That's why it's hard with the soulmate. We have plenty of soulmates on the world, but sometimes people lean on that in such a toxic way. And that's why I feel like you freed yourself from something that was very oppressive. What do you need to release? Yeah, so you're definitely healing from this. And again, with the snow here on this card, it feels like isolation. It feels like solitude. It feels like drowning out the world so that you can deal with the hurt and the pain from the situation. And that's something that they don't appreciate and they don't like, because it means the longer you spend time observing and taking care of yourself, the less likely it is that you'll be coming back. Whoa, yeah, look at this. This flew off the table and flipped over. We have pain. There's a lot of pain in this situation. I also feel like these people, whoever they are, they don't want to admit that they caused you a lot of suffering. They want everybody to believe that they're the victims here when they're really not. But they're really good at playing the victim, for sure. Yeah, this could have been someone who ghosted you, or again, you had to ghost them. Like, you had to bounce out. You know, I've said this before. I'm not a huge fan of ghosting people. Like, that's not something that I really like to do. And when I can, I will always cut things cleanly and give closure, because that's what I would want people to do for me. But I will say this, there are times when ghosting is necessary. When I left from my 8-year relationship with an abusive narcissist, I ghosted him. I gave him, I don't know, because I told him goodbye in the morning when he left for work. I gave him a hug and I told him goodbye. And you might be like, why the heck did you hug him? Like we'd been in a relationship for a long time, but I knew I was leaving, and I never told him about it. I didn't tell him. As soon as he left and he got to work, I started packing up all of my stuff, because he had a 15-hour shift. And I packed up all of my stuff into my car. Family helped me, and I was out of the house by noon. And I was on the road, and I never said anything else to him. To this day, I have never said anything else to him. I gave him a hug and I said goodbye, and that was it. And I ghosted him, but I had to cut ties with him because I was in a position of Stockholm syndrome. And every day I had to convince myself not to reach back out to him. It was like, just one more day. Can you make it one more day, not say anything to him? And that went on for months. And then eventually I was able to get past that feeling of like needing him in my life, of needing to tell him things, of needing to talk to him, feeling like I couldn't do anything on my own. And then that's when the healing started. And so there are times when ghosting is necessary. I will say that. It's just not something that I'm a fan of when, you know, you really need to give closure to people. So I feel like there's a time and a place for everything. Confusion. Growth hurts, heals, and harnesses a way through the uncertainty. So this person left you in a lot of confusion, and you're growing beyond that now. You're healing from that. This came out in pile 1 too. You could be here from pile 1. So if you are, thank you. If not, you might have additional messages for pile 1, but you're never obligated to watch more than one. Okay, like it's not necessary. So we have spiritual transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. So this is something you're definitely healing from. Letting go of the guilt, of the hurt, the blame, the self. This is like self-judgment. This has been letting go of self-judgment for you. Yeah, it was a union. This was a union. Oh my gosh. Very clear here. So we have Saturn and Taurus, ostentation. They're very stubborn. This person, very stubborn, very demanding, very overwhelming with you. Destroyer. Yeah, look at this. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. In the shadows, intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potentials. They are very controlling, very manipulative. And they're trying to tell everybody that you're destroying your life right now because you're choosing yourself. And you destroyed the connection. You destroyed them. That's not true at all. You had to choose yourself. You had to choose your happiness. I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. Yeah, exactly. You had to embrace your personal power here with strength and determination. Yeah, so Source is definitely reminding you did the right thing, okay? Explorer, traveler, wanderer. You had to leave. Like, this is something that maybe you had to run away from them. But I feel like with Explorer here, it's like you had to explore other alternatives, other options. Different ways of being, different ways of life. A win-win outcome is forecast. Full moon in Libra. Things are balancing out for you, and justice is coming. Happiness again. Yeah, you're finally finding happiness on your journey. So there's a lot of things that are balancing out for you right now in a very, very powerful way. So regardless of what these people are saying about you, you had to do what was right for your happiness. And they do see that you're a happier person, but I do feel like they're just trying to convince others that they're the victim. They're the ones that were hurt in this situation. Like, they're the ones that have it so bad. And it's just because they're realizing like you're shining without them. Sacred marriage. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? They believe that they're your soulmate, your one and only person, that no one will ever get them the way that they got you, that no one will ever love you the way that they loved you. This is what they're saying. Like, I can't believe that you broke up our marriage, that they'll let you do whatever it is that you want to do if you let them come back, or if you come back to them. They'll never try to hold power over you again. But the truth is that this person, they just, that's who they are. They're just never going to get beyond that until they start to heal themselves. But they're using the sacred marriage as a means to play the victim here. And they're trying to get everybody to feel sad for them. They're trying to get everybody to feel bad for them. They're like, that song, right? When a heart breaks, no, don't break even. I think it's by The Script. That's coming in. That came in another reading not too long ago, too. It's like, when a heart breaks, no, it don't break even. What am I supposed to do when the best part of me was always you? And what am I supposed to say when I'm all messed up and you're okay? I'm falling to pieces. Yeah. Right? So, yeah, they're trying to convince everybody that they're falling to pieces, but they're also saying, like, I'm glad that they found something for themselves. I'm glad that they found something that they love. So they're trying to play the victim. They're trying to build you up like they actually supported you this whole time, like they actually cared about you. But the truth is that they were destroying you, and they were very, very controlling over you, and you had to find your own freedom. So this is interesting. It doesn't have to be a marriage, but I definitely, for many of you, this was somebody you had to leave that was family, or that was that you were very close to. Mary Magdalene. Where are you at? Mother Mary, this way. Okay, look at this. Okay, here we go. I just want to say this could be triggering information because the first line here, okay, and I want to point that out. Not that this hasn't been a deep reading already, but I just want to say this. It says, you are your own twin flame. Spiritual wholeness leads to a new experience of intimacy and love. Mary Magdalene was the author of a gospel and chief apostle to the disciples. Isn't that funny? We were talking about religion too. So this could have been someone who believed that you were their twin. This could have been someone that felt like, oh, you were married in the eyes of God, which means that you can never leave that marriage. Or when you step out, if you ask for a divorce, that's adultery or something like that. Like, they're definitely using religion, or they're using belief as something to back their lies and their rumors about you. Okay. So it says, she has roots in Gnosticism, where she's worshipped as an aspect of the Holy Sophia. Her Ankh pendant signifies her role as a priestess of the Egyptian goddess Isis. Mary holds the Shekinah flame, the feminine aspect of God. She presides over the twin flame union, a self-knowledge journey that brings higher consciousness to partnerships. The Temple of Magdalene is a space for deep spiritual and sexual healing. Your soul has an ancient connection to this temple, and memories of the twin flame union are now being stirred as you awaken the holiest feminine and masculine energies inside your heart. You'll be working deeply on yourself and awakening to your soul's light. This process can span many years. Your healing journey is about becoming whole. All of your life, you've been preparing to create a relationship that reflects that inner wholeness. It's not a partnership based on an image-driven ideals of perfection, nor is it based on patching up each other's wounds. It's a conscious relationship in which both people take responsibility for their own lives and soul growth. Mary says, before you can experience sacred marriage with another, you need to come home to your own inner twin flame. She gives you a red rose, her symbol of the beloved, to signify that you're choosing the sacred marriage inside of yourself first. In perfect timing, you'll merge with a partner who reflects your own completeness. Trust that your heart knows what it's doing to build a synergetic experience of true love that leads the world to higher consciousness. It says, you're a powerful spiritual teacher with the mission to bring the Shekinah, feminine force of divinity to humanity. Clear the vibrational imprint of past lovers through energy work. Work on your relationship in couples therapy. Incorporate sacred ritual into your love life. The invocation here is, I am whole and complete. I'm ready to create a sacred experience of intimacy. The other thing is that Source wants me to remind you is that when we let go of who we think it should be, we open up to the possibility of who it could be. And sometimes that's really hard, especially with labeled relationships like this. But that's what I was saying. Like, I was getting that earlier too with the soulmate, the connection, the label itself. There's something that was incredibly limiting about this person being in your life. And they think that the label itself is the reason that you should stand and take whatever it is that they put out there, and that should be enough to overcome. But, you know, we've been on this channel long enough. We know love is not enough, right? There has to be respect. There has to be honor. There has to be honesty. There has to be dignity and integrity. There has to be certain things and aspects that we allow into our lives that are driven by love for one another. Love is not enough. We need other things in order to be seen as a truly devotional, divine couple. It's not just love. You can love somebody, but they can be the worst possible person for you. And that's something that's really powerful. And I feel like you've learned that through this. And again, this is somebody who's trying to play the victim while trying to build you up so that they can keep staying in that victim mentality. Okay, so they see you being happy. They see you finding your life. They see you finding out who you are, and they want to be a part of it, but they're just not a part of that anymore. And that makes sense with what I was feeling earlier about how maybe you had to cut ties with them. Like, it was something that had to be done, right? So I'm so sorry you've had to deal with somebody like this before. It's not easy. But I want you to know, pilots, I'm really proud of you for choosing yourself, choosing self-love, and choosing your growth, because I know you're going to find somebody who meets you at your level and is willing to continue growing with you, and that's something you absolutely deserve, okay? So this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a red rose below and say, by coming into complete harmony and union with my own inner soul, I am calling in a higher divine love into my life, a relationship, a connection, a true love that's going to meet me and grow with me in this moment. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Saturn on it, or this chakra gem, charm, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a charm. Pendant. Or perhaps you felt called to this card during the shuffle. This is going to be your reading on the surprising things your haters say about you. We're all here sharing this human experience together. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. I do things differently here on this channel, so there might be triggering statements that arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. If the messages happen to resonate with you, it'd mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. It's a free way to support the channel. And please know that your time, your energy, and your efforts and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm deeply honored to be here sharing it with you today. All right. Quickly, I do want to mention that because we are looking into people who don't necessarily like you, whatever it is that comes through, it is not the reality of who you are. So take it with a grain of salt as we get into these readings, and we'll see what comes up. Also, if you've chosen to watch all 3 readings with me, leave a purple heart down below. That's a part of my Purple Heart Club. I know what that means. You can also say, I made it. And I really appreciate anybody who spends any amount of time with me today. So let's hop to it and find out the surprising thing that your haters are saying about you, pile 3. The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. What would you like to share with us today, source? For pile 3. Okay, so we've got the 11th house, we've got Cancer energy, and we've got Mars. You're so aggressive, pile 3. You're so aggressive. We just wanted to be friends with you, and yet you didn't want to be friends with us, and you aggressively ended things with us, and how could you do things like that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. We don't get it. Whoever these are, they're very codependent people. That's what they're saying. They're saying that you aggressively ended things with them. That you cut them out of your life. You blocked them. You ghosted them. You made them feel absolutely unworthy and like they didn't matter. You know what's weird though is that I feel like you were very supportive of who these individuals were. Very supportive. You loved them, you cared about them, you gave to them, sometimes at the cost of yourself. You were everything to them, but when it really mattered, they did not show up in that way for you. And so that's what they're saying, is that you aggressively cut them out, that you didn't care about them in that way, and that now you're off being selfish, and that you made them feel unworthy. It's interesting. But I feel like you had to lead the pack, right? You had to choose yourself. And that's not always easy. And some people are going to take that really personal. Like, some people are going to act like, oh, I'm the one that's at fault because I don't resonate with you, or because I have something else going on. And sometimes we just have to let them take it personally. I do feel like this person or these people are very passive aggressive towards you, pile 3. So they were very unkind in a lot of circumstances, but you saw through their illusions, you saw through their lies and manipulations, and you chose yourself. The surprising things that your haters are saying about you, pile 3. How could they do this when I loved them so much? When I helped them with money, when I supported them when they were struggling, when I gave them gifts, when I went out of my way for them. Wow. The surprising thing that your haters are saying about you. Some of these people may have never even helped you like that at all. And maybe some of them did, but you had to, you know, again, if you're going to help because you want to, not to help somebody in order to hold that over their head later. Right? And I feel like these are people who helped in order to hold it over your head later. Oh, well, pile 3, remember when I came through with that $50 when you were struggling, you didn't have any groceries? Yeah. So now that means that you owe me. And then here's the thing, like, even if you paid them back, they use that same situation over and over and over again against you. And I feel like you realize that this person never had genuine, they never had a genuine bone in their body to help you because they actually cared about you, because they loved you. Yeah, so with the Ace of Swords, you saw the truth here. You saw the situation for what it was. You may have even called this person out or these people out on that. Okay, once come out in reverse. So this could have been someone who was also manipulating you, or a player, a sexual partner, somebody you were in a relationship with. This could have been someone you were married to, but they lied about the people they were with. They lied about the things that they were doing. They left you, and this could have also been maybe a family or friend that you went to after leaving a situation. And you were like, well, we're friends. Like, you're going to help me, right? And they're like, yeah, no problem. I got your back. You know, we're friends. That's what friends do. And they helped you. They helped you get back on your feet. And you were really grateful, and you did what you could to pay them back. But now they just hold that over your head. And they're like, well, remember that time you broke up with so-and-so and I was there for you? Well, you know, you owe me for that. And you're like, but I already paid you back the money I owed you, and I already paid you back for that. And I was really grateful. Like, I don't understand. Why did you do it if this is all it was going to be? And they're like, yeah, because I had to go out of my way for you, and you put a damper on my life. And like, they make it seem like you put their back up against the wall, but they're the ones who volunteered to help you. Yeah, the Moon in reverse. A very dangerous situation. There's this feeling, like, it's interesting because it's like if you borrowed money, right? There's this energy where it's like, don't borrow money from family or friends, right? Like, this is that energy where it's like, it's just dangerous. I gotta move the camera. It feels very dangerous. Like, there's always gonna be a problem here. Why are you sliding that way? Okay. And that's what it feels like. Like, you knew right away that this is going to be a very dangerous situation. This could be a mother in your life, or somebody that you looked up to like a mother. They had no awareness of your emotional boundaries. But they tell everybody that you took advantage of them. And that's what they're saying. It's like, you took advantage of them. You're the one who wore me out. You emotionally exhausted me. You're making my life difficult. You're putting an additional financial, emotional stress strain on me. And you're the problem. You can't take care of yourself. Yeah, okay. That's what I was getting with the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This could have been someone who cheated on you too. Like, that's coming in. This could be someone who cheated on you, and again, like, why were you so cold to me? You cut me out, right? Like, very passive aggressive energy here coming in from this person. They're telling people like, oh, well, pile 3, they just cut me out of their life, you know? I feel like they're also trying to tell people that you cheated on them. You lied to them. You put them in a third-party situation. You got someone else involved with the situation. I feel like you didn't at all. I don't feel like you were seeing anybody when you were seeing this person. Like, you weren't sleeping around. And even if you were, like, there's always another side to the story, you know. And I'm not here to judge people and their actions. That's not my job at all. That's not my job at all. I recognize that no matter what the circumstance, okay, and I know that this is a triggering statement for some, but we have to own our own actions, right? And so there's some people who do cheat, and you realize later, like, oh, maybe I should have actually said something to somebody and walked instead of getting them involved in that situation, right? But I feel like the thing is that we can't just keep blaming the cheaters, because there's always two parties involved, okay? And that's the thing. It takes two to tango. My mom would always say this to me growing up, like, it takes two to tango. So both parties have to take accountability for the actions that they had. And you can't just blame it on, like, the person who's not involved. You know, and everybody's so quick to blame, like, if there's a marriage here, everybody's so quick to blame the third party. But what if the third party didn't know that said person was married or in a relationship? And it's not, I mean, what are they supposed to do? A background check on everybody before they actually sleep with them? I mean, we have to think about things, right? Like, you think about Tinder. How many married people are on Tinder and they're going and they're sleeping around with people and they're not telling people they're married? Why? Because they want to get their kicks off. And that's the thing. So it's like there's always extenuating circumstances. It's easy to blame people for their actions when, you know, you don't know. And so I feel like that's a thing. But I feel like that's a type of situation that you were put in here. Is that you were put in the third party situation, you found out about it through whatever means you found out about it, and you made a decision to choose yourself, and through that, now they're saying to everybody, right, you saw the truth, now they're saying to everybody, oh, like, this is your fault, there's something here, oh, okay, this is coming into somebody suffering from, like, an STI or an STD that they picked up because of promiscuity here, and they're saying that it came from you. And I feel like you've already been tested. This is a very specific message, okay? You've already been tested, and you know that you're not. You know that you didn't pass that on. Yeah, that's a very specific message. Wow. But why somebody would go around talking about that too to everybody? It's just absolutely wild. They're also saying that you're the ones that broke their heart. Like, you're the one that put them in a stressful situation. Like, that you're the person that, like, how could you leave them so abruptly when they went out of their way to help you, when they went out of their way to love you, when they went out of their way to be in a relationship with you, when they went out of their way for you? You're the one that cut things short with them. But again, I feel like you caught them red-handed. You caught them with their hand in the cookie jar, and they don't want people to hear that, right? Yeah, we have Thunderbolt coming out here. This is the House of God energy. This is things falling apart. Their ego was exposed. Their emotional ego was exposed, and they didn't like that. Okay, so things have been destroyed. Like, this is something that had to be destroyed. It just wasn't working for you. You had to find yourself through this process with the Empress energy here. You had to choose yourself after this very difficult situation. Yeah, the Ace of Swords again with consciousness. You saw the truth. You saw the truth of this person. So either, like, this is either you saw messages, or you saw them out and about, or you saw whatever this was. You saw it. You saw it in action. And maybe you confronted them in the middle of said action. And they're trying to tell everybody that they're the ones that caught you in action. They're the ones that saw you cheating. They're the ones that saw you, you know, and how dare you? How dare you when I'm the one that helped you? Yeah, the Nine of Wands, exhaustion. There's some sort of sickness here. This could be a mental illness. This could be some sort of mental diagnosis here. They're saying, though, they're trying to tell people, like, you know, like, you're the one that got them sick. That's what I was saying, like, an STI or an STD is coming through. Like, that came through so loud and clear. And then the Nine of Wands is talking about sickness or starting over, something to do with our health. But it could be mental sickness. But being it's a Nine of Wands, again, Wands energy is very sexual energy by nature. The House of God is very sexual energy by nature as well. And so with these both coming out with the lightning bolts and then this image, it's feeling like there's something here where they contracted something because they weren't safe, or because they were just not taking it seriously. You know, some people don't take it seriously, and they're trying to blame you. They're trying to put it on you, that it was your fault, that you're the reason that they're going through this Yeah, and you found peace. I feel like that's the thing, like you found peace with the situation, even though it was really difficult for you going through this. But they're saying that you cut them out. You were really cold, that you would cheat them and then cut them out like they didn't mean anything. Like, how dare you do that? And it was all because you wanted attention. It was all because you wanted to be seen. But you found the truth. I mean, you can't deny that with the sun. Self-express and embody truth. Like, you found the truth. There's no denying that you know the truth. And so you moved on, and you're now working on your spiritual well-being. Grow and expand with Jupiter here. You chose you. Good for you, pile 3. Like, seriously, good for you, because this is heavy. This is heavy energy. No one deserves to go through something like this, right? So it's not your fault. You didn't deserve to go through it. It's unfortunate that someone put you in this position too, right? But I just want to say that I'm proud of you for choosing yourself, because even some people, when they're put in these positions, they continue to go back to those toxic situations and they continue to forgive. And then it happens again. And then they're like wondering, like, why did this happen again? And maybe that happened to you too. Maybe you did go back and maybe you did forgive, but then it happened again. And it just made you realize, like, I have to choose myself this time, right? I have to be real and choose to empower myself with the Empress energy here. We have Mercury in Aquarius with originality. Yeah, you had to change the way you thought about this connection, what this meant to you. And I feel like that was really challenging for you, pile 3. Like, there's something really challenging about seeing this connection from a different place, but you were getting intuitive nudges. You were getting clear insight about this. So you were either receiving confirmations or you were receiving insight from source. So we have Mercury in Aries with restlessness. Yeah, there was something here that was exposed. But it was also healing in a way, especially with the caduceus here. It was healing in a way, right? But it was very much exposed. And it created a sense of unrest with you. And they don't want to be seen as being exposed. That could be lies. That could be gossip. It could be rumors. The reading itself is pointing towards being cheated on. Okay. But again, these are general readings. And so I have to go with where the energy takes me, but I will mention these other things because it could be any of those things. And they're just as deep as a betrayal as being cheated on. And I know some people might not look at it that way, but for you, it was that much suffering that you went through, that broken heart that you experienced. Home, it says, may your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. Yeah, so you're creating a very harmonious home for yourself, a harmonious situation. So this could have been someone who invited you into their home, and maybe you guys did the dirty, and then suddenly maybe you got wrapped up in a third-party situation that you didn't realize, and suddenly you had to leave, you know? There's definitely a physical connection here, it feels like, for sure. Teacher. Ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. In the shadows, manipulating or abusing students. Teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So there's definitely manipulation or abuse of some sort here. And, you know, again, take it as it resonates. But it does feel like they were manipulating you and trying to convince you that it was something else. But now you're realizing that you do have the power, and you may be sharing your experience to help others heal as well. Or even helping others to trust their intuition, to trust what they're feeling, to trust what they're sensing, to not question themselves and the guidance that they're receiving. It does feel like that. Forgiveness. You may very well resonate with the collective message that was done at the beginning, which is timestamped in the description box. But we have, acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. I do feel like you're coming into a state of forgiveness. Like, you're realizing that you don't need to hold on to this anymore and to freeing yourself from the situation. It's not condoning the actions that were done or what happened between you two. It's just saying you're tired of holding on to this. You're tired of holding on to the anger. You're tired of holding on to the resentment. You're tired of holding on to that because it just makes you exhausted. It feels like they're draining you, right? That energy, vampire energy, that vampire energy that's connected to holding those difficult energies within us. because they're still connecting to them on an energetic level. But I do feel like you're ready to let go, or you're in that space now where you're letting go and you're realizing, like, I can't change this person. I couldn't have changed that person back when this happened. I saw the truth, and I'm just grateful that I saw the truth and was able to leave when I was able to leave. Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn, and you don't see it as a failed relationship anymore. You see it as something to garner insight and information from, lessons learned, and you really are coming into very strong energy now. What else would you like to tell Pile 3 Source? One more. Thank you. Right away. Thank you. On the bottom, we have Archangel Uriel, passion and spirit connections. And now you're very, very focused on your spiritual journey. And I feel like that's the thing, like, they were helping you, your guides, the archangels, they were all helping you find the truth of the situation. I do feel like they led you to the truth of what had happened. And when you confronted them and called them out on their behavior, they did everything to play the victim. They did everything to, you know, not take responsibility for their actions. And now they're trying to tell everybody that you're the one who was caught. They caught you red-handed, that they caught you cheating, that they caught you doing this, that they caught you being manipulative, they caught you being abusive. But you know better than that. And you know that it doesn't matter whatever this person says, because you trust without a doubt your gut feeling. You trust your intuition. You trust the guidance that you're receiving. Right? So he's saying, like, this might have been something really hard to look at from a different place. With this originality card, wow, this card coming out, this may have been difficult for you to look at from a different energy, from a different place, but you're learning how to do that. So we had hold your vision, and the answers you need are coming. These flipped out of the deck. I'm going to put them back in. But yeah, you had to learn how to hold space for what you truly wanted, whether that's a love relationship, a sexual relationship too, even just a partnership or something like that, you know, whatever it is, or family or home situation. Like, you had to learn how to look at that from a different place. A win-win outcome is forecast. So things are starting to balance out for you. And I feel like this is really driving this person nuts too. The fact that this stuff, like, your life is starting to balance out. Things are starting to even out for you. And they don't want it to, because they feel like ever since you left, everything's fallen apart. But, you know, I heard two things. You must lay in the bed you made and let sleeping dogs lie. Like, that's the two things that came out right now. And truthfully, you know, we have to leave people in the state that they created for themselves. We can't just keep trying to fix it for them. Yeah, so we have flow and cleanse. Yeah, this has been a healing time for you. A very, very healing time for you. You're cleansing your energy. You're going with the flow. You're learning to trust yourself without a shadow of a doubt. Like, there is no more like, oh, is my intuition off? Like, no, when you get an intuitive nudge, you, like, trust it. Consciousness flipped over here. Yeah, you're very aware now. You're aware that you have this spiritual divine connection with Source. You're aware of your connection with your guides, with your angels, and you no longer question, like, if you didn't catch them red-handed, like, you no longer question that this person cheated on you. You're, like, very aware of the situation. You're not questioning if this person is, you know, spreading rumors about you or trying to play the victim. Like, you know without a shadow of a doubt. You know. Hunger. Yeah, there's been, this feels like a void to me with the hunger card. Like, there's been a void left behind since you have left. Okay, so we've got empathy with Pisces. Yeah. You're very tuned in. And I also feel like that's the other thing, like what I was saying is, like, it's hard because, you know, it's easy for us to judge the third party in situations. Like, oh, it's a third party's fault. Like, I feel like for this, like, maybe if like, just say, example, if you're a woman and you're with a man, right, where I'm just going to go from a heterosexual standpoint, but you take it as it resonates. You could be a woman with a woman, or a man with a man, or whatever. You could have been a man with a woman and she cheated on you, like, whatever the situation. But just for ease, I'm going to come from my own perspective. Okay. So as a woman with a man who cheats with another woman, so many women, and women especially, they have a tendency to blame the other woman. But the other woman isn't necessarily the one to blame, even if she knew about you in the first place. Yes, she could have had integrity and said no if she knew about you. The one who's really truly to blame is the partner that you're with. And that's why sometimes it's like, well, no, if she knew about me, then you know, she's part to blame too. It does take two to tango. Yes, it does. It takes two to tango. Of course, that's there, right? But at the end of the day, you're in a commitment with the man, right? And again, whatever your situation is, I'm just trying to make it easy because it's too hard to say like a man, a woman, like it's, but you're in a commitment with your person, and your person is the one who has to have integrity and honesty with the relationship. The third party doesn't owe that to you because they don't know you from Adam. They don't, and of course we don't want what we put out, right? Like, so what goes around comes around. But at the end of the day, the third party owes us nothing. It's our person that they should hold respect for us. And if they don't want to be with us anymore, they should say something about that. But I feel like you also are aware of that, right? And so you're seeing the situation for what it is, but you're also getting messages where Source is telling you not to harbor resentment for the third party that was involved, or not to harbor resentment for this person anymore. And you're seeing it with their shoes on. Like, you're even seeing it with your ex's shoes on. You're seeing the whole picture. It's like you're seeing it from a different place now. All angles. Yeah, trusting tricksters, right? The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. And that's exactly what you did. You don't trust them anymore. They don't have power over you anymore. Femme fatale highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. The shadow is inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money or power. Yeah, so definitely you are in femme fatale energy. You're realizing it's okay. Like, if my dependency is rejected, I open my heart and I'm allowed to be erotic. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify with. It's just coming from that place of being safe, expressing yourself sexually. And we've been talking, this has been a very sexual reading overall. Mentor. Okay, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. We had teacher too. So I feel like you might be teaching others, like showing them, again, coming from a very wise place, right? Like, he looks like an elder here teaching her the ways of the world. I'm taking you under my wing. And I feel like that's what you're doing. You're helping others see it from a different place. The shadow is the inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. Yeah, so you're definitely coming into this place where you're teaching others a very profound lesson based on your own experiences. Surrender. I can release my need for control. And that's what you've done in this situation. You've surrendered. Outworked, out of balance. You saw, or overworked, out of balance. You saw that this was a very out of balance situation. Shaman energy gives you this mentor energy again. Healing energy. You're actually healing others. This might be a part of your purpose, is sharing your experience and what you went through. And that's going to help others find healing as well. Look at the bigger picture. Wasn't I saying that? Like, you're seeing the bigger picture. You're seeing it from all angles now. It's not just from what you experienced, but you're able to kind of step out and see it from outside the box. Like, where this person was involved, even where the person, your haters are coming from. Like, you're able to see the whole picture. You're realizing, like, they're only attacking you because they're not feeling good about themselves and they're projecting this out onto others. Or they're lying because they don't want people to see the truth about them because they feel like that stains or tarnishes their image, and which it may. But people who really care about us, they're not going to let our ugly parts destroy our connections. And part of it's for us to honor and accept our ugly parts. We all have that. That's just being human. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have upsets. We're gonna fall apart sometimes, but we have to accept ourselves wholly. And I feel like that's where you're coming from too. You're seeing this bigger picture, which is why you're healing others. Communication is key. Yeah, so you could be a speaker, a mentor, you could be a coach, you could be something like that. And we didn't focus too much on what they were saying about you, because I feel like Source just wants you to know, like, you've overcome such a huge issue in your life, such a hurtful time and a struggle that you went through. You've actually overcome the obstacle and the hurdle itself, and now it's turning into something that's giving you momentum for your journey. And in doing so, you're also being a helping hand to people who need that helping hand. Like, you're reaching out to people who may be stuck in a state of resentment, who may be stuck in a state of blame, who may be stuck in a state of being the victim, and you're helping to re-empower people who need it most, who are ready for that message of empowerment. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what it says. Yeah. Namatona with safe space. You're creating a safe space for people who need it most. And it's based on your own experience. Like it's like that. I feel like you're non-judgmental of others. Like you're very accepting of people. You're willing to listen to what people have done and experienced. But partially because at some point, even though you may have been betrayed like really badly in your past, at some point you were willing to look at their side of the story. Not maybe even hear their side of the story, but just take a step back and maybe just observe them for a second and what they were doing in your life. Like what could have made them do this? Not me, but like what internally could have made them do this? And just asking that question gave you such a wider perspective. It gave you a look at the wider world around you. Rather than seeing things from this, you start to see things from this, and that eventually expands until there is no blockage. And that creates this non-judgmental safe space for others where, you know, like if people come to you and they're like, I'm the one that cheated and I'm the one that hurt somebody. Maybe you're a relationship therapist, you know, like I'm the one that hurts everybody. I've cheated on everybody I've been with. Maybe you just give them a safe space to talk about that so that they can heal themselves, that need to always jump from person to person to person for validation, right? But whatever it is, it's like you're this safe space that people trust, and you're the safe space that people truly, truly appreciate, because you're not up here telling them that what they did was wrong. You're just saying like, this is just how things are, and that's life, and that's okay. It's human, right? It's human of us. We're all human. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody hurts. Everybody suffers. Like, if we sit here and say, like, my way is the only way to live, we're putting people into this very small window, and we're saying you have to fit into my cookie cutter version of what life is. But we don't want others to do that to us, right? And so what Source just really wants to point out for you, Pile 3, is that you are this safe space, and you don't come from a cookie cutter version of life. You basically have all the cookie cutters out, and you say, pick whichever one fits you. And I'm okay with that, because I'll enjoy it as much as I enjoy mine, or as much as I enjoy this one. You can be the Christmas tree, or you can be the star, or you can be the dog, or the paw print, or you could be the kitty cat ears, or, you know, like whatever it is. You could be the snake, or the bug, or the butterfly, whatever. It's like you're not judging them based on what they choose. You're realizing there's much bigger side to the story than just forcing judgment onto people. And so you've come into this safe space. And so the surprising thing is that your hater is trying to, or whoever your haters are, they're trying to blame you for what they did. And they're trying to make it seem like you did what they actually did, that you caught them red-handed. But that in turn has created a path for you where you were brave enough to look at the story not just from your own perspective. And that is absolutely profound. It's such a gorgeous realization, and I hope that you know that, and I hope that you celebrate that about yourself as well. Let's read Namatona from the book. Namatona. Create a refuge for your spirit and protect your boundaries. Namatona, is the lady of the sacred grove, was worshipped by the Nemetes, a Germanic Celtic people of the 1st century BCE. Her name derives from the Celtic word nemeto, meaning the sacred area or sanctuary. This magical feminine guide watches over the sacred groves that are central to the Druidic spiritual practices. To the Celts, a nemetone was a holy wooded enclosure where Druid rites took place. In modern druidry, nemetone also means a personal boundary or inner safe space. Goddess Namatona cultivates the spirit of home and sanctuary both in our surroundings and deep within us. Places where hawthorn bushes, ash, and oak grow together are especially sacred to her. Become quiet and listen, for Namatona is leading you into her sacred grove. I'm bringing you safe and sacred space, she says softly. Your scattered and uprooted energies want a place to call home both within and without. Do your best to make your dwelling a haven for the soul, no matter how small or temporary your living space may be. If your home hasn't felt secure, call on me to help. Your aura, which is your psychic space, safe space, can be sensitive to everything to which it's exposed. When it gets overloaded with the weight of the world, retreat to your sanctuary. Meditate and ask every energy that's encroaching upon you to gently leave. Protect your boundaries without guilt. It is time to find emotional safe space with a therapist or a healer. A secure container for processing your feelings may be just what you need. I may soon lead you to powerful sacred sites where ancient trees, stone circles, or outside temples provide a changing encounter with the divine. Sanctify your space and put down roots. You belong here. So you could join a local druid group, create a shrine or an altar in your living space, declutter and do space clearing rituals. Happy move to a new home is in the works. Creating stability in a settled environment will benefit you. And the invocation is, with Namatona's blessings, I create healing sanctuaries. And that's just it. Like, you're a healing sanctuary for others because of what you've gone through and what you've healed from and what you've overcome from your past. Like, you don't identify with your past. You recognize it as an experience and a lesson that you went through. And that lesson has been a light for you to help assist others overcome an equally difficult or equally difficult situations in their lives. So we didn't want to, like, Source didn't really want to focus too much on what they were saying about you, because I feel like you already know what this person's been saying about you. And even the surprising thing, like, I can't believe they would blame me for that. But at the same time, I feel like you're coming from a space, Pile 3, where you're like, yep, that just sounds like them. That's who they are, and I can't change that, and I'm not going to try and change that, and I'm just going to let them keep digging their own hole, because one day people are going to recognize what's actually going on. For now, I'm just going to focus on me. And you're doing it from a very empowered and blessed place. And I just thank you for doing what you do, because we need more people out there helping others to see things from a bigger perspective, but also to re-empower others from that place of victimhood when they have been hurt, betrayed, or manipulated in such a way. So thank you for doing what you do, Pile 3. This is what I see here for you today. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little black circle emoji down below and say, I am a sacred safe space for souls and hearts to come to heal, because I have healed my own heart and soul. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you would like to support the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. The candle just went out. Perfect timing. So with that being said, I would like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very profound message today. And until next time, Pile number 3, stay human. Bye.